Welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs YouTube channel. Hi everybody, my name is Greg Sykes along with Brandon Scott. Well, guess what folks? We are heading into yet another weekend coming up very quickly. This is Thursday with this recording here. You may not see it until Friday, but that's okay. That is okay, but we're talking about keys to the victory on Sunday. Sunday, we're at home again, this time against the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen and company come into town. And, Brandon, we were talking about last week, three keys to the victory for last week. And I tell you what, that was such a tremendous game for the Washington Commanders. They were 2-0, and we had a little trivia thing. We were talking about the last time that the Washington Commanders, Washington Redskins, were 2-0 was back in 2011. And who was the quarterback? It was Sexy Rexy. It was Rex Grossman who
Yes,
was
it
the
was.
quarterback. I was reading the comments. Some people said Mark Brunell. Um, wasn't quite Mark Brunell. That's kind of a trick thing, though. But it was Mark Brunell, and it wasn't RG3 because, as we know, RG3 was the very next year, and they did not start off undefeated in that season. So, yeah, Sexy Rexy, and then I think it was the third game against Dallas. They fell to the Dallas Cowboys. So now on to Game 3 of this 2023 season. Another tough test for the Washington Commanders coming up. Now, so far, Brandon, they have checkmarked a lot of boxes. Falling behind by 18 points, showed resiliency, was able to come back, kept composure. Sam Howell, a lot of credit to that. Offensive line played pretty well, even though they're still, I think, I guess a unit you would call in the making. There's
Yeah.
still a lot that needs to be done for that offensive unit there, but um, for the most part, this is a team that really, uh, I tell you what, they can go pretty far. And any other time you're looking at the Buffalo Bills coming into town, you're thinking, man, if we don't play a perfect game, we're going to pretty much have no shot at this game. I will say we still have to play a perfect game, but I think we can go toe to toe with this game or with this team. And I think falling behind by 18 points and then coming back and beating the Broncos like we did, I think has given this team such confidence, given this fans confidence that we feel like, you know what, doesn't matter. If we fall behind by any team, I think we'll go toe to toe. We got the defense that we can hold the other team. We got the offense that can score the points. So, Brandon, we got three keys to the game
Yes, sir.
that um, we can secure 3-0. So, if we're going to be 3-0, Brandon, what are those three keys to this game?
Okay. Um, First one I'm gonna start with is Sam Howell and the O line helping each other. We know the O line is still kind of figuring out their way a little bit, trying to find consistency. And as far as Sam Howell, we know what he can do. He can do a lot, but one main issue with him is getting the ball out quicker.
Yeah.
He tends to hold on to it a little too long. So I feel that the first key to victory is for Sam Howell and the O line to help each other. For Sam Howell to get the ball out quicker, make his reads quicker. As far as the O line, give him that time. If he's holding on to the ball too long, it puts a lot of pressure on his O line to keep that protection going. But if he has that time to throw and get through his reads, I think you can see a really good showing by the offense. Number two, I'm going to say keep pressure on Josh Allen. If you look at week one when the Bills struggled, they struggled because that defense put a lot of pressure on Josh Allen and forced him to make a lot of bad throws as far as throwing in the double, maybe triple coverage. I mean, if you look at a lot of the throws he made, man, it's just he held on the ball a little long. He made a lot of ill advised throws, and that's because he had to get the ball out. It behooved him because he had a lot of pressure. So that is my second key to victory. Number three is keep the foot on the pedal. Punch him in the mouth early because a team like Buffalo, look, we get it. Week one they struggled. Week two they showed back up, but look, Buffalo Bills are they're a Super Bowl contender. You know, they're a team that has aspirations to go to the next level. And Josh Allen, you know, his name's always in the MVP mix. So this is a team they have weapons, man. You know, James Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother, he's rocking. I mean, we know what the receiving core can do with Diggs, man. And they have two really good tight ends out there in Buffalo. So they have weapons on the offense, and their defense is not to be underestimated. Their defense is going to put a lot of pressure on Sam. So I think that it kind of leads back into the first key to victory. O line needs to give him that time, and he needs to get that ball out quicker so they don't have that much pressure to continue, you know, holding that protection for him. So number three, look, punch him in the mouth. You know, I believe that Eric, you know what I mean, he's gonna come in, he's gonna do his thing. Look, we were both saying about how we expected for him to kind of show out, and he did. Week two, bringing Eric Bieniemy showed why maybe Kansas City, you know, he has a lot more to do with their success than a lot of people let on, because the fact that we were able to score that as many points as we have within the first 2 weeks. And if you look at Kansas City, they're struggling a little bit, especially on the offensive end. So yeah, that would be definitely be my three keys to victory. I truly believe or Greg, um, that if they hold to these three keys of victory, we have a chance, and we could be 3-0 for the first time since. Shoot, do you know when was the last time we were 3-0, Greg? We
That is a good trivia question for you folks. We're going to put that in the comment section below. When was the last time we were 3-0? I may have already given it away. Don't rewind, folks. Come on. Come on. Let's see if anybody knows when the last time. Be honest with you, someone else had probably had asked that question, and I think I got the question wrong because I always revert back to 1991, right? And that I may have already given the answer out. I don't know, but uh, because that's always my default answer. It was like, when's the last time the Redskins really did well? 1991. I don't know. That's I always revert the last Super Bowl year. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. I really think yes, we need to start off fast. We need to punch them in the mouth on defense. We need to protect Sam Howell. Certainly. How do you protect Sam Howell? I think you establish running game, and I think
yeah,
you have some more shorter timing passes. You get the ball out of his hands a lot faster. I said that in the last game, and I'll probably continue to say that in every single game. So one thing that we need to teach Sam Howell, and that's to get the ball out of your hands a lot faster.
yeah,
I appreciate the fact that Sam Howell likes to read through his progressions. I love that with him because, in the past, a lot of quarterbacks coming out of college anyway, they don't know how to go through their progressions because, quite frankly, the offense that they have in college is a one read offense, right? It's
yeah,
like you are going for that particular wide receiver. So if he's not covered, you're throwing the ball away or you're running.
correct.
So I appreciate the fact that Sam Howell is going through his progressions. The thing is that even when he goes through his progressions and he's starting to kind of run, and he's still, even when he starts to scramble, he's still wanting to stop and then see if he could pass.
Yeah,
Sometimes he's got to realize, give it up, either throw the ball away or, scramble, see if you can pick up a couple of yards, whatever you can do, live to play the next day because
yep,
I've seen a lot of blindside hits that, quite frankly, is going to get him hurt. And I don't want to see Sam Howell get hurt. So that's something that I think he needs to work on. And I think getting him into a good rhythm of some short passes just to, get the ball moving, and that's going to get Buffalo's defense off kilter because they're going to be keying in on Brian Robinson
yeah,
and that running game because we all know that Brian Robinson can move the ball with his legs. He has no problem doing that. So being able to kind of counter that up and to be able to do kind of like those short little passes like that. And I tell you what else, key in on those screen passes. Those screen passes ate up Denver in this last game. So I
yeah,
would say continue on with those screen passes. Use not Denver's, use Buffalo's uh, tendencies against them
yeah,
to be um, just going after the quarterback, rushing the quarterback, and just that will kill you. And so I think that's something that Eric Bieniemy really started seeing a lot of great success with against Denver, and I think he can see that type of success against Buffalo as well. You also mentioned Buffalo's tight ends. That's going to be something that we're probably going to see a lot more with our linebackers. Jamin Davis is going to have to really have a really good game, along with Cody Barton as well, if they're going to kind of keep those tight ends in check. So be looking for a lot, hearing a lot of calls, a lot of names, um, or I should say, Jamin Davis's name being called a lot, Cody Barton's name being called a lot, especially if those tight ends are getting involved early in the ball game. So, but yeah, I would agree with all of that. I think those are some good keys to the game. So, with that said, prediction time. What are your predictions, Brandon?
Oh, okay. Home game. This is actually the second game in a row where the Washington Commanders have sold out. So fans are coming back. It's great to see. Home field advantage. Um, man, I'm gonna predict the Commanders pull out a victory, 3-0. We're gonna beat them 31-23.
Okay. Well, you know what? I was pessimistic in the last game. So much so that I was going to break my heart and everybody else's heart. Yeah, and I was going to make it to where people were going to have to call the suicide hotlines, not trying to joke about that. I'm just saying because I said 20-19 and it was going to be like a heartbreaker at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I was almost fulfilling that destiny with that Hail Mary that Denver threw, and the 2 point conversion that honestly could have been called pass interference. I think it was the Sean Payton rule, honestly, that if you see pass interference and Sean Payton's on the sideline, don't call it. So, but this time I'm a little bit more optimistic just because I think there's momentum. Sam Howell, he's 3-0 as a starter.
Yep.
Can you believe that? He has not lost in a Washington Commanders jersey, not even in preseason. So I think he's going to continue that streak. I think he's going to be 4-0 in the regular season. I think he's going to be 3-0 in this season. And I'll agree with you. I think the Commanders are going to go score in the 30s. I'm going to say it's going to be tough with the defense. The
Yeah.
defense is going to
Yeah.
be great, but I'm going to say 35-28.
Oh, okay. 35-28. Okay. I can dig it. I
Yeah,
definitely because I think Eric Bieniemy, man, he's really got this offense rolling at full speed, man. I mean, I like what I see. This is the first 2 weeks. But a couple things to throw at before we move on, man. Look, the passing game's gonna have to be on cue because if you look
yes,
at what Buffalo did against the Las Vegas Raiders, beat them 38-10. How did they do that? Shutting down Josh Jacobs. I believe Josh Jacobs got -2 yards rushing. So I
yeah,
mean, and he's probably a top 10, top 15 running back in the NFL right now. So they're gonna put pressure. They're gonna put pressure on Brian Robinson. Best believe. So we're gonna have to really, I expect to see some screens. I really see. I want to see. Oh, I want to see Curtis Samuel and Antonio Gibson kind of mix and match, run. You know, get creative, EB. You know what I'm saying? I want to see EB get creative, but I think it's a winnable game. Buffalo, they're not a scrub, but I think this is a measure stick game because how we play against this game is going to give us a forecast about how we do against the Eagles and the Cowboys. Because if we have aspirations of going places, it goes to Dallas and goes to Philadelphia. Now, the jury's still out in New York. Week 1, they looked like trash. Second week, they came back on the victory. But Saquon Barkley's out, which is you know, always the conclusion every year with Saquon Barkley. And then same thing with Waller. How long till he's hurt? So I think there's definitely a 3-team race in the NFC East. But I think the Buffalo Bills is a Mississippi game. If we beat Buffalo, man, then we're talking about something. I mean, because we've checked every box this season. We have a great offense. Our defense is top 10, and we finally have an offensive coordinator who knows what he's doing. The years the years of Scott Turner just sitting over there looking confused are over. We finally got a guy who knows how to run the offense. So, hey man, like I said, if we get this victory against Buffalo, we're starting to cook with grease, man. And it's really, it's going to be interesting to see how this division unfolds because Philly, Dallas, and us, man, it's going to be a good year.
Well, yeah, I would tell you that if we beat Buffalo and we beat them soundly, it's not like one of those luck type, you
Yeah,
know, can't, we won because of some pass interference, weird call or something like that. I think if we soundly beat them, then you can't help but to think this team just beat a Super Bowl contender because I see Buffalo as a Super Bowl contender. I've always have in the last couple of seasons,
yeah,
and I see them as such this year. So if we can beat them, there's no reason why this team is going to be in the playoffs. I can't fathom them not being in the playoffs. At that, I know it's a long season, but I think at that point you beat Buffalo, you're 3-0. Who else? Who else can you not? There's nobody you can't beat at
yeah,
this point.
yeah,
And to your point, you're looking at some of the other teams. Um, you know, the Giants are playing San Francisco, I believe, tonight on Thursday night football. That's going to be a very tough game for the Giants. Dallas just lost one of their star cornerbacks,
yeah,
ACL
yeah.
tear for the season. That's a big loss for them.
Oh yeah,
Big loss for them. So, suddenly the NFC East is starting to see some casualties.
yeah,
And, you know, and it's on some of the other teams. So suddenly, we're starting to see a lot of teams in that division that it's not just one team. Well, it could still just be the Eagles, but I think suddenly it may not just be the Eagles and the Cowboys. You could be looking at the Eagles and the Commanders. And then, the Cowboys are going to be in there. They're a very
yeah,
good team.
yeah,
We can't count out the Giants. I know we can't count out the Giants. But I just, the Giants are going to have a tough time the way that they have been playing. So, but yeah, I mean, you're starting to see some unfortunate injuries on these other teams, and then just scheduling and them playing some of those tough teams. If we're beating Buffalo, and then the Giants haven't played guys like San Francisco, it may fall into that category to where we are way ahead of some of these teams in the division, and so you get to that point toward the end of the season, who knows? But I'm not going to jump ahead too much. Let's let's just see what we do with Buffalo. We could be in a much somber mood. But regardless, Brandon, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video. And anything else you got left to say to the fans out there?
no, sir. Definitely. Either show up because it's a sold out crowd. So I know some of you are probably showing up, but definitely watch the game. We show support towards this team because look, a lot of fans have come back. So definitely optimistic. So definitely hail to the Commanders and let's get it. Let's get this.
Absolutely.
Let's get this win.
Absolutely, absolutely, folks. Brandon will be at the game, so come by, say hi to him if you see him. Please consider subscribing to this channel. We've gotten a lot of new subscribers. Thank you all for joining and becoming Maniacs. Speaking of that, we have new channel memberships. Check that out, folks. We're going to start instituting some more live streams at some point soon, so you're going to want to check that out. And with that said, folks, all of y'all have a good night or good morning when you watch this, whenever, it doesn't matter. Just hope you're being entertained, folks. We will see you in the next one. Hell to the Washington Commanders. Peace, everybody.